Thanks for listening to our podcast, unMetered. As a member-owned, not-for-profit electric cooperative, our focus is on providing affordable, reliable, safe electricity and outstanding member service. One way that we're doing that is by providing more avenues of communication to you, our member. Through the podcast, we hope that you will be able to find some helpful hints, tips, and things to help you conserve energy, as well as some informational pieces that will help you understand what it means to be a member. Welcome to another episode of unMetered. We're extremely excited to have you here. This week we're going to be talking with Todd Palmer, one of our key account coordinators. You may hear some noise in the background and some different movement. We're not in the studio this week. Instead, we're actually spending some time at the Tennessee Electric Cooperative Association's Marketing and Communications Conference. And we decided to take a moment to catch up with Todd here, and we're really excited about that. Before we get into the interview, actually take a moment to go check out Sharing Change. You can enroll in that by going to sharingchange.org or by calling our member services, which is at 1-877-777-9020. As always, if you experience an outage, the best way to report that outage is by calling 1-877-777-9111. And of course, if you forget those numbers, which it's definitely understandable if you do, you can always go to MTEMC.com and click on the outages button or our contact button, and you'll be able to get those numbers there. Todd, I'm really glad that I was able to catch you during the conference. You know, we got a few minutes here to get a few questions answered. What is a key account coordinator?
Okay. Well, what we're solution seekers, I like to call it. We work with all of our large commercial accounts, and we look to help them, whether it be working on billing analyses, or we look to provide them incentives for economic development. And even in some cases, we have a program where we work with utilization engineers at TVA to go into their buildings and find ways for them to be more energy efficient. So we're really the go-to first line for our large commercial accounts.
Now, you say large commercial accounts. Of course, you know, we've got residential, there's small businesses, and then the commercial accounts. What really separates, as like an overview of what separates between a commercial account and just a normal business account?
Okay, so the way that works is we consider anything to be over a commercial account that uses more than 300 kW or more of energy a month is considered a large commercial account.
Gotcha. Okay, so is there an example you can give us of who would be a commercial account?
Well, in Williamson County, one of my large commercial accounts is Essex. Also Nissan North America. They're a large commercial account. Of course, the Williamson County school system is a large account as well. So any of the larger buildings, I mean, most of my commercial account or most of my business accounts are commercial. Some manufacturing. Wilson County and Rutherford, more of the manufacturing and industrial accounts for large commercial. But we do have a little bit there in Williamson County.
Okay. Before we move on from the small businesses, what is the best way for businesses to get a hold of the right person at the right time? Is that calling our contact center, or who should they call?
Well, that's right. Call in our contact center and let them know that you're looking to establish service as a commercial account. Then they, from there, will be moved over to the engineering department, where we have our service engineers in our offices that will work with them on how large of a load they plan on being and how much energy they need. And then the contract, which we will work with those larger commercial accounts on. That's where I start to come in and work with them on securing that load and making sure that they're getting what they need. But yeah, they would call in just like any other member. They would call in and just tell them they wanted to set up service.
Now, you said you're in charge of Williamson County, correct? Right. Is there other key account coordinators?
Yes, Kevin Lee covers Rutherford and Cannon County, and then Brandon Wagner is our key account coordinator in Wilson County.
Awesome. So if a member is needing help, we've got we've got people in the right places. There's a spider. I got it. Ooh, it's all good. Don't worry. Only on unMetered. Yeah. But so obviously if they have a question, then they can call the right person or the right place. Of course, y'all's phone numbers are on the website.
That's right.
MTEMC.com. We've got, obviously, we understand sort of what a key account coordinator does, but tell us a little bit about a situation in which you were able to help out one of our commercial clients.
Sure. So we'll get calls regularly from our different commercial accounts, and a lot of what they're calling is they obviously are looking at their billing each month. That's their bottom line, part of their overhead, right, for the electricity. And so they may have a situation, or we see a lot where, hey, their bill's high, or they don't understand why they got dinged with a particular charge on the bill. And of course, with commercial accounts, we bill them a little different. We go back to what we were talking about. They're billed on something called demand, as well as their actual power usage. And so by contract, they have to use at least 30% of that each month, or they get hit with a penalty charge.
Okay.
So what we'll do is we'll run a billing analysis on each of these commercial accounts if they're calling in and have some questions. Make sure they're not getting dinged with a demand penalty or their power factor, which has to do with their transformer and that type of thing, how that's functioning.
Sure.
And so they're billed in a little bit different of a way. So we have to take a real close look and scrutinize those bills sometime to help them see where it is that they may be getting a higher billing for that month, or maybe it's just their usage. But that's a big part of what we do on a regular basis. Now, we also are a part of the picture when we have new businesses and things coming to our area. We work with TVA on economic development packages, things like our it's our Valley Investment Initiative package, where we will help provide incentives for those, make it more attractive for those commercial accounts to come to our area. And so those are several ways in which we regularly are working with our members in our counties. Again, we'll work with our engineering and things to see what it is they're going to be using, how much load, how many employees they're going to have, and there's some different guidelines that TVA looks at, and we work with them on providing the conduit, if you will, between us and them and TVA to help them figure out, do they qualify for particular incentives to give them money incentives for coming to the area, their small business manufacturing credits, things like that. So there's a lot of packages, if you will, or incentive packages that are beneficial to businesses to make it more beneficial for them to come to the area. So
awesome. Is there anything else that you kind of wanted to let us know about the key account coordinator position?
I think one of the things that it's very important is we rely, because we're the front line for these commercial businesses and things and manufacturing businesses. We really appreciate all the different functions within our organization that help us work with these commercial accounts. Without the finance group, without our engineering resources, without operations and our line crews, and from start to finish, the people up front, our contact center, we're more valuable to those commercial accounts when we're able to make sure that everyone touches a piece of that. We're just kind of the person that's their frontline contact, but it takes engineering, it takes operations, it takes the whole group. It takes a total team of people. So I want to say that we really appreciate all the people and individuals in our organization that help us work with these commercial accounts, because it's bigger than just the couple of representatives of us that are out there taking the phone calls and working with them on their questions and concerns.
Well, like I said, that sounds fantastic on the fact that we've got people that are there to help our commercial clients, to help those accounts that are needing a little bit of extra attention because of how large they are. It's difficult to run a business in today's culture, and Middle Tennessee Electric is always looking for ways to help improve economic developments in our counties, and the key account coordinator position sounds like a great, for lack of a better word, liaison between both those commercial accounts and the electric utility as a whole. So, well, Todd, thank you for listening, for not listening in. Well, hopefully you'll listen, and hopefully if you haven't heard our other podcasts, you'll listen into those as well, where you'll also hear more about what linemen do, what groundmen do. You'll also hear things about what our executives do, and a little bit of personal information about them. Again, if you've not yet done it, maybe you were listening to this podcast and you decided to go over to sharingchange.org and sign up. If you have not done that, please go and do that. And next week, we're going to be talking with Robert White, the Vice President of Member Services and Communications. And we are really excited to wrap up our senior leadership interviews series that we've been working on. But until then, stay tuned, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.